G'day, welcome back. This is part 2 and talking about canteens or water bottles, their philosophy of use, the importance and what a difference they've made into the life of humanity. So yeah, as I said, g'day. If you're new to this channel, my name's Mort. Mort's, whatever you want to call me, it all works for me. This started as a bit of a commentary to go along with the restoration of an old aluminium or aluminum water bottle or canteen that I've got to make it fit for service again, because I just hate throwing things out. The commentary grew, so you've jumped on to part 2. If you're new to this channel, as I already said, my name's Morts. Just an average Joe bloke that likes to have fun in the scrub or the bush. Likes to get into self-reliance, like to make my own gear. Like anyone else, I'm a gear hound and I like to buy stuff, and sometimes I look at some of that stuff and review it as well where it might be useful. So yeah, sit back and enjoy. Any questions, just talk in. So us being domesticated, that's great if someone provides you with water, or if you have another vessel to sterilise your water in. But why carry two things when you can do one? We have metal canteens or water bottles. These can come in three main types. It's your stainless steel, your titanium and your aluminium. So your stainless is not common. This is one example. Yes, I've painted it because I'm a sad panda. That's got a cup and a stove on it. There's your canteen. This is a Pathfinder canteen with a lovely big wide mouth, and it's stainless steel. Didn't bother to paint the bottom. It gets burnt, it's been in the fire a bit, because that's what it's for. Downside of this is the lid's not on a chain. That way you can take it away easily. The upside is that it's a lovely big wide mouth. You can put things in there. If you want to cook things in there, you can, and you can clean it because of that wide mouth. This is bomb proof, weighs more than your plastic GI one or military issue one, and costs more. So the stainless steel is not light. However, I consider myself very lucky to have that. Titanium's another example, and this is it here. This is a Kieth titanium water bottle with its cup underneath. It's got your butterfly style handle, preferred by some. Now titanium is a mild germ killer, not as powerful as silver, but water does keep fresh in it, and actually tastes delicious, and it's super lightweight. This is expensive, but it's one of my most prized possessions, and this goes most places with me. Then we have the aluminium water bottle or aluminum water bottle or canteen, which is the subject of today's video once I stop waffling on. So the aluminum or aluminium ones are very cheap. They're common. They've been military surplus for a long time. It's lightweight. People talk about it being toxic. Aluminium cookware in combination with harder metal tools can lead to aluminium oxide getting in your body. It's been linked to Alzheimer's disease. No one wants that. I don't think that's the case for a water bottle, because I'm not scraping it. It gets water put in it and then water comes out of it. There's no abrasion. So I don't think that's a major problem for a canteen. I would always prefer a stainless, because we're always going to be a little bit concerned. I even greatly prefer the titanium, mostly for the taste. The aluminium, it dents easily, and also you've got to be careful not to melt it, and I have melted an aluminium water bottle. The way I did that was that I'd had a bottle of water sitting in the fire, and I got called away to do things, preoccupied or whatever. It's about 10 years ago now, I can't remember the exact details, but when I came back, it had 3/4 boiled dry. So it wasn't completely dry, and the heat of the fire and the wind picking up, it had actually melted a hole up near the top of the water bottle. So that happens. Now your aluminium water bottle, provided it's protected from dents, don't let it get burnt. It'll be very cheap. You often find them at garage sales, or I think foreigners would call them yard sales or car boot sales, things like that. Second-hand stores or charity stores, as well as online, both as a surplus and a new manufacture for a fraction of the price of your other metal bottles. I still own plastic bottles. I would buy more because it's still good to be able to carry them, but you know, even there's another type of metal that you can get canteens in, and that's this. It is enameled tin. You can see that blue stuff, that's the enamel. This is a 1937 pattern, Australian or British Commonwealth canteen, so it's World War II and Korea era. It's a fantastic shape and size. If this had a wider screw top mouth, the sort of mouth and lid that's on either of these two, if that was on there, and this was in any other metal, whether aluminium, stainless or titanium, I'd think it was a marvellous compact little canteen to have on my site. But being enamelled, you don't know what's happened inside, whether it's chipped away or whatever, and you're having a drink and you're sucking down bits of enamel, which from what little I understand is almost a glass. So it's a relic. It'd have to be a pretty dire emergency. Although I do love the khaki wool cover. Those that are uninitiated and don't get taught the old things, which is probably why a lot of people get on YouTube. The woolen cover is the same reason that your canteen covers used to come with a felt lining as well. It does two things. When it's cold, it provides some insulation when it's below zero to slow down the freezing of your water. But equally important, when it's super hot, they would get the cover wet and it would cool by evaporation. Now, here's another complicated topic. As I said, if you want me to do a talk about heat stroke and heat stress and all that, I can do it. But I'll tell you now, make sure you eat salt. Okay, straight water, especially when you're dehydrated, can be very bad for you and even kill you as well. So have your salt. And I've been doing that at home lately, drinking a lot of water. I gave up coffee 3.5 months ago, but I was constantly running to the toilet. Now I put a pinch of salt in my cup of water, and I'm not running to the toilet every half hour. However, here's the thing: if you're very hot and a bit dehydrated, that super cold water goes into your stomach and throws your stomach lining into a mild shock, I'm told. Now, it won't be absorbed into your bloodstream until it reaches body temperature, so it does suck a bit of heat out of your body, but the water gets into your bloodstream more slowly. Take that to an extreme, and I had a boss in the army that would get us to hold our water in our mouth on a route march until it had warmed to body temperature and then swallow. So we're there, 40 kilos on our back, walking at full speed, breathing through our nose only. So the theory was right, it's just that wasn't much fun. Jury's out as to whether it was effective. It may well have been. But yeah, so that's that. So I've already restored this aluminium water bottle. I'd had it that long. I don't even know how long I've got it or where I got it from, or indeed when I last used it, but it was a bit of a bashed up, useless piece of junk. Now the lid leaked. Now we found a way to fix that. It had a chain which attached the lid to the bottle, so you don't lose it, which is great until you go to set it in the fire and then you'll melt the lid. So you don't want that. And also, you want to be able to, you want it to reattach the chain, but I wanted it to be detachable for when I put it in the fire. The chain was noisy, so that rattled a lot, and because I'm a sad panda, and I like this sort of stuff, and I paint my stainless bottles and all that, I'm going to go to that trouble. Last thing I want is a noisy chain rattling around as well. And of course it was shiny. So they're the four big problems that I fixed and turned a worthless piece of junk into a useful water bottle that I'd be happy to take bush with me, and it increases my one hit boiling capacity by a litre. And by that, what I mean by that is that this comes with a cup, but the amount of water I can boil in one hit is about 600 millilitres, whatever that is in your Middle Ages imperial things. But yeah, 1 cup's canteen. By cup's canteen I mean one of these. However, with this arrangement, I can boil that much in one sitting. That I can boil that much in one sitting, rather than having to boil successive cups, because no one wants to spend all day sitting at a fireplace sterilising water. And if you look at that, there's about realistically 3 litres maybe of water, which is almost enough to get me through a day. You look at how much time it takes. You consider how much time it takes to build a fire, collect water and strain it, through a cloth to get rid of the floaties, and then boil it. How many times a day do you want to do that? So now, given that I've got my aluminium bottle about this size that I don't want to unveil, now I'm closer to 4 litres of water. Now I don't necessarily drink 4 litres of water every day. If you add for cooking, and if you add for working hard in the heat, that might get me through, depending on how hot it is and how acclimatised I am. Okay, question for you guys at the end. 2 questions. 1, what's your preferred method of water sterilisation? And 2, if you do sterilise by fire, how much water can you boil in one go with the equipment that you currently carry? All that aside, I just want to say thanks for your time. Thanks for tuning in, for your time and attention. Hopefully you all got something out of it. Hopefully in the comments you guys can teach me something as well. So look forward to seeing you in part 3. Part 3 will actually get hands-on and do the restoration that this originally started out as being for. So yeah, thanks again, best wishes, and make sure you get outside and get in the scrub, get active, do some deep breathing from some exercise, and yeah, claw back a little bit of self-ownership, by doing something to advance your self-reliance. Take away our reliance on other people. Have a good one and cheers.